Come, Sir Katya. Come in, Katya.
I am here, Alexi.
I am in need of good news. Tell me of the glorious progress our sleeper agent, Napoleon, has made.
Well, glorious is not exactly...
Tell us in need of good news, Katya. You above all know how cruel I can be when disappointed.
Well, yes. I am pleased to inform you that I have found the location of first fac-cylinder. It holds the voice of a dying elder god.
Yes, of course. The Song of Metamorphoses. Tell me, where is it located?
I regret to inform you that it is still in possession of...
Mr. Scratch? This is no problem. Instruct our agent to negotiate a trade.
He already has, but...
But what? Napoleon has soul. Command him to sell it. His soul for the cylinder.
Unfortunately, he has already traded it in exchange for magic bullets. Bullets that grant wish for every soul they snuff out.
Magic bullets?
So that he might rescue his strange lover, Sugar, the Lady Sasquatch.
My, isn't that romantic?
He and his friends, Jestin and Adam, have been following her and the freaks in their airship. In a robot made from crab he shot.
Give me one good reason why I should not snuff you out of existence for your failure, Commissaire.
Because our agent pursues the Sasquatch, and she is in company of far more valuable target. One Barbarossa.
Haha, yes. Barbarossa. He was the last to possess all 6 cylinders at once before his Reich fell.
Let Napoleon save his Sugar and take Barbarossa captive.
Yes, we will interrogate him and discover location of all 6 cylinders. Once they are in our possession, we will not be limited to collecting human energy through Siri ringtones and video games. Enough! You must make the call and deliver instruction to our agent.
You're listening to Creeping Wave Radio, a documentation of our decidedly creepy escapades here on The Unaffiliated, once the mics go off.
Napoleon, turn off your phone. You're scaring the compass.
Oh, it's Katya. I don't really have a free hand here.
Nap, if you let go of that rudder, I swear to God, I'll give that phone a burial at sea.
Right. Sorry.
How much farther is it? I can't take much more of this rowing. And these oars.
They're more like claws, really.
Oars, claws, whatever they are, they're starting to give me blisters.
Yeah, why did you have to kill a crab, Nap?
I killed the crab with the magic bullet so it would turn into a boat and we could follow the dirigible. Just like how I killed the goose and it turned into a compass.
No, I understand that. I just don't understand why you didn't use the bullet on something bigger, more powerful.
Like a shark.
Oh, yeah, like a shark. Imagine how badass a shark boat would be.
Ooh, sleek, aerodynamic lines.
Just tearing through the water like...
Ooh, sleek and slim, so sexy. Yeah.
Oh, I am so terribly sorry. I neglected to chum the water so that we could idly wait around for a couple hours until a shark came and obligingly let itself get shot.
Well, apology accepted, Nat.
You know, Justin, you are lucky that I'm the kind of guy who... What's so funny?
Really? Really, you want me to say it? All right, fine. I'll say it, because we're all thinking it anyway, Nap.
Guys, wait! Shut up. There in the distance, look.
It's a rope coming out of the ocean?
It's an anchor line. The dirigible. We found it.
Yeah, and it's only, 500 feet in the air? How in the hell are we supposed to get up there?
Yeah, Compass. Tell us how we're supposed to pull this one off after all that rowing.
Don't take it out on the compass. It's not its fault.
Oh, I know whose fault it is, Nap.
Did you guys hear that?
I'm going to just pretend I didn't.
Oh, look up there.
Parachuters.
3 of them.
Hitler's brain must have sent them to stop us. Prepare for battle.
Ready the oars.
Right.
Hey, you guys. That's not fair. I don't have anything to fight with.
You have a magic devil gun, Nap.
I know. I just don't want to waste any of my bullets. I only have 58 left.
Waste them? Are you kidding me?
Only 58.
They're swimming right for us.
Take that!
Wow! Jeez, careful with that oar!
Ha! And take that!
Put that thing down before you hurt someone.
Yeah, give them here!
No! My oar claw!
Hey, give that back!
That's better. Board the vessel, freaks.
Oh, now the boat's gonna smell like wet dog.
Good evening, fellas.
Oh my god. Look at them.
They're horrifying. What is that? A werewolf?
You probably don't know, but that term's kind of racially insensitive.
My god. And that one there looks like a walking T-bone steak.
Ugh, sickening.
I have a condition, I'm kind of sensitive about it, to be honest.
Hideous. Just hideous.
Yeah, and they've taken some poor hipster guy as their captive.
I'll have you know, I'm all woman. My beard does not define me.
How dare you speak to a lady that way?
You guys are kind of assholes.
Yeah, we just came down to see if you guys were all right.
We thought you were shipwrecked out here. I even packed you sandwiches.
Sandwiches? Well, what kind of sandwiches?
Well, you're certainly not getting them after how rudely you've treated us.
Yeah, I think you boys need a lesson in manners.
Agreed.
Nap! They're going to kill us. Quick, go for your gun.
No! I don't want to waste my bullets.
Well, if you won't, then I will.
Hey, stop! Give that back.
Ha ha! Hey, what's wrong with it? The trigger won't budge.
Give it back. It's a flintlock, you buffoon. It's useless if it isn't primed.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
None of us are armed.
That is a serious misappropriation of force.
Look, I'm not gonna shoot anyone, okay?
Not after I break that hand, you won't.
Get away from me!
My favorite belt buckle.
You shot him.
No, I mean, I did, but I didn't mean to. I just pistol whipped him. I thought he'd just, pass out like they do in the movies.
The gun must have gone off by accident.
And ricocheted off my belt buckle, which is ruined now. Thank you very much.
And shot that poor, hideous T-bone steak-looking guy.
You just had to work an insult in there, didn't you? The man's dying and you have to make a comment about his looks.
My God, what's happening to him?
He's transforming.
Oh, sweet Jesus, it hurts. My bones. Breaking. Skin tearing. Help me. Please help me.
No, it can't be. I don't believe it.
Yeah, I know. It was a really lucky shot.
That gun. I've seen one just like it.
Hold on. I've got a message.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You were saying?
That gun. I've seen one just like it before. You've made a deal with Scratch.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're cursed. Cursed. Not even God can save you now.
Right.
Come on, Francesca, let's get out of here. Away from this soulless monster.
With pleasure.
You're cursed. Cursed!
Thanks for reminding me.
Ugh, look at that poor guy flopping around. What's happening to him?
What did you wish for, Nap?
Nothing, I swear. I didn't even mean to shoot him. All I want is to get aboard the dirigible and rescue Sugar.
Well, you're in luck then. It looks like he's just turned to a grappling hook.
Let me see that.
Put me down!
Ugh!
Oh, and it can talk.
Yeah, I can talk. Now get your hands off me.
Ew. I'm not sure I'm comfortable climbing up something that's still sentient.
And covered in gristle, no.
I'll agree, it's pretty grim.
But I don't think any better option's gonna present itself.
Unhand me, you fiend!
I am so sorry about this, little Grimstick.
Don't call me that. I have a name, you know. Wait, no! Stop twirling me! Don't do this! Don't! Ah!
Huh? Looks like it's holding. Well, up we go.
Okay, everybody. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. It's our premiere episode of Creeping Wave. And I am here with the musician who provided that music for us, Popcrow, also known as Alex Campbell-Stein. Hi, Alex.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for providing your music for our show. It's very good stuff. Now, I know Alex from a little while back when he used to do his podcast, The Alex Stein Show.
The Alex Stein podcast,
yeah,
yes.
Alex Stein podcast.
It's a great name for a podcast.
it says what it delivers. So
that's so true.
Yes. So
thank you for being a guest on my podcast. By the way,
yes.
That was wonderful.
If you go through his archives, I'm actually one of the guests on this podcast where I was first releasing the first episode of Lost Bread, the first issue. Now that's up to 2 issues now. So I should probably work a little
you did
harder.
the artwork too for my. No, you don't need to work harder. You're working hard. You did the amazing artwork for my podcast, and I've asked you to do some more stuff for my Popcrow music stuff. And thank you. It's amazing.
Oh, I enjoy doing it. So, you guys, I do art, just so you know. So let's.
You're an artist.
Oh, thank you. But let's talk about your art today, and I want to know. I would like for you to just kind of take me on that journey that brought you to the point where you wanted to start performing and recording as a musician.
Oh, that's a long journey.
Well, no, you played trumpet when you were just a wee little fellow.
Trombone.
That was it. One of the brass ones.
Yeah, I played trombone because I was tall enough to where my arms stretched out to where you can hit that long 7 note.
There you go.
So that was how I wanted to play drums originally because I thought the drummer in a band is the coolest person.
That's true.
They're in the back and they're always working. They're killing it on the drum, and I don't know. They just look like they were having the most fun. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be a drummer, but my music teacher said you need to take piano lessons, and I'm terrified of the piano. So I moved away from that and was like, all right, what can I jump into? And I went into trombone. I settled for trombone.
That's a pretty awesome instrument to settle for, though. If you're gonna settle, you know. You could have been on the triangle or something.
The triangle. I should have just done that. You don't need piano lessons for a triangle.
No, just hit that triangle.
But I remember my parents growing up, they bought me a child's guitar, and I didn't know how to play it, but I remember loving the idea of holding a guitar and pretending like I was playing a song, even though I wasn't really playing anything. But just having a guitar in my hand, I remember at a young age loving that feeling and loving the idea of making some sort of tone and something that you can repeat. But then I never jumped on the guitar until later in life. After I put down the trombone, I picked up a guitar. And I've been kind of self-teaching myself, watching YouTube videos to play guitar. And I don't, by any stretch of the imagination, feel like I'm a really good guitar player. I feel like I can get the sound that I like, and I can repeat it, and then I can wave around that style. And it's been a lot of trial and error. I always have 10 songs in the bank that I'm working on that I don't quite think are ready to go. My journey is in itself a journey of discovering who I am as a musician and how much I can kind of repeat the sounds that I like from other bands and musicians that I respect, and not to be afraid to incorporate stylistics that I like into my own work.
So what musicians, when you're talking about musicians you like, musicians you respect, which ones, can you give us a couple examples and who maybe inspired you and in what way?
Oh, that's easy. My first inspiration was Jimi Hendrix.
Very cool.
In high school, I had to do a report in English class on the 60s, and we got to pick any person or part of the 60s that we liked. And I was like, okay, I've heard of Jimi Hendrix. I'll give it a shot. So I went and bought like a best of Jimi Hendrix album and just was blown away by all the songs that I didn't know, all of his like deeper cuts, and was like, this is somebody who was put on this planet to do one thing, and that's music. Yeah. That's guitar. That's singing. That's writing. Everything around him being a musician. And it was like the first time that it didn't seem forced. It seemed like it was just natural. And I love that part of Jimmy. He inspires me so much to play guitar and to not be afraid to sing. Yeah, I just fell in love with Jimi Hendrix. Listening to him in the dark with headphones on was like, for me, like a growing moment in high school. And then I evolved into like Modest Mouse is my favorite like together band. I love Modest Mouse so much. Like they're raw. The singing isn't always like on tune or like on pitch and stuff, but it has meaning. It has drive. It has soul. And then now my like biggest influence that is almost relatable to my music would be the artist Dan Deacon, who's like an electronic artist, but it's also organic. It's really cool. And it's something that I strive for. Interpol is another huge influence on me. I love the guitars on any Interpol song. Yeah, I feel like in life you need to like, it's never like just one thing. You take a little bit from here, you take a little bit from there, and you put it together, and then what you produce isn't always what you plan on doing, but you move to what is your wavelength.
Yeah.
As an artist. And I feel like as a musician, it's for me, I don't feel like I'm that smart. So for me, it's one of the few things where I feel like I can feel the right direction. I don't necessarily know the right direction, but when you're playing a song, you can feel, I like this. I like where this is going.
So, yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. You sort of take little bits here and there, and that winds up being your life. The wee little moments that captured you and the little things that inspired you. And that just turns into what you produce into a life. And it's always kind of interesting. When you look back on it, it all just seems weird and sporadic, and then you hit a point where you're like, oh, all of this makes sense somehow in a weird way.
Yeah, I mean, there was a phase where I liked country music. Mm-hmm. Like, my parents liked it. There were certain songs that I really enjoyed of country. I didn't like the idea of the genre, like, per se, but I loved some songs. I'm like, oh, this has heart. Yeah. This song has something that no other song has, and it's beautiful because of that. But you take like Fleetwood Mac, huge influence. Love Fleetwood Mac. Mm-hmm. But to me, music, it's almost like a drug in a way.
Yeah.
You go to drugs because it gives you an immediate satisfaction or an immediate just change of environment, change of your own head, your own way of looking at things. And I think music does that to an extent where you listen to a song and you're immediately transported to that feeling or to that emotion. And so for me, that's been so reliable, is having music still be there, regardless of if it's a song that I've listened to when I was, 7 or 8 and not really understanding it, but now hearing it for the first time, it's like, it's still glorious. It's still these great songs. And it has a connection. I think it's a connection that's deeper than words, that's deeper than anything you can think of. It's just there. It's in the moment. It happens. But you can repeat it, which is, I love music. You can go back and play the song again. You can, take another hit off of it in a way.
Kind of tying that into your life and the people who are around you, would you say that there's anybody in particular, anybody who you've encountered who really just inspires you and just gives you that energy to, get in there and make music, or has really just changed the direction that you've maybe, like friends, family members, just people who encourage you or inspire you in some way?
I would have to for sure say my wife, Andy, because she's a stand-up comedian, and she gave me the courage to try stand-up for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And the idea of doing something that's unbelievably scares you
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
And my first time doing stand-up, it was a show where you have to do the comedian's boyfriends or girlfriends do the jokes of the comedian. And so I went up on stage and I told my wife's jokes, but this was my first time on stage, first time doing anything big like that besides playing trombone in concert band. You're with a whole group of people. But I decided I'm going to bring a guitar on stage and I'm going to sing like 3 of my wife's one-liners. And I was like, I've never done this before. I don't really know the song, like what I'm really going to play. I kind of studied it or practiced beforehand. But it was so much fun and so eye-opening for me that I took this leap into 2 different worlds that I've never done before, which is live performance of music and live performance of stand-up, and was greeted with open arms. Like, it was so enjoyable. Luckily, because I had my wife's material, but I also brought a new element that was something that only I feel like I could bring to the table. And yeah, taking risks with art, you kind of have to. Everything is, in itself, everything is a risk, especially when you're doing it the first time. Even when you're doing it later on, like your 5th studio album, you're still taking risks.
I was listening to something the other day where they're talking about just the art cycle now, because so many people have access to it at once through the internet or things like that, the cycle when you can hold people's attention with one thing is so much shorter now. And it's with art, it's with painting, it's with anything, that people just get tired more quickly than they used to. So you have to keep throwing something new in the mix and sort of reinventing yourself every single time you do it. And so being willing to take risks and being willing to challenge yourself or willing to fail, say like, okay, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So we got to go back and we got to try again is a huge part of it. And that's awesome to hear that you're doing that.
Well, self-editing is so hard because there's a part of you that wants to tell yourself, this can be better. Mm-hmm. Alex or Popcrow, whatever my name is. this can be better. You can work a little bit harder. You can refine your guitar tone. You can work on the drum beat a little bit better. But then there's another part of you that's like, just put it out there. Mm-hmm. It needs to go out. You can't hoard all these things to yourself. You need to stop painting the painting. Sooner or later, it has to be done, and you got to put it up on the wall.
Yep.
And that to me has been a huge struggle of mine. Is like, when is this done? Is it when I'm bored of it? Is it when I feel like it's finished and it's perfect? Or is it done because it's been 2 weeks since I uploaded a song?
Right.
Sometimes I feel like that's the answer. It's now been 2 weeks. I need to put up another song on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's just how I feel like I've been producing stuff. Because it's hard to then also take into account what your audience is saying or what you think they're saying, because you're like, do I change for them? Do I switch it up because there's people that want it a certain way? So that's been tough for me.
Yeah.
As a musician, like, who am I trying to please in a way?
I think that would lead me into my next question, which would be, how do you hope that people view you as a musician or an artist?
I want them to view me as authentic, as real, even though, I mean, I'll admit it, I use fake drums. Like the drums, like they're electronic drums. Yeah. They're not real, but I want it to portray the realness of the song as a complete thing. You can pick apart as many things as you want, but I want to be seen as somebody who has a style, that you can trust me as a composer. You can trust that this song is here for a reason. I might not know what that reason is. You might not know what that reason is, but to feel like there's a reason for this song to exist, I hope that's what people look at my art or my music as I'm glad this exists in the world today.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I always like that, the authenticity of an artist, that this is actually coming from this person and it wasn't, written by a board of people who are trying to engage a certain demographic and that sort of thing. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nobody that I answer to except to myself.
Yeah.
As far as the stage I'm at right now, where I'm putting songs up on SoundCloud, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. I have such an amazing amount of freedom, and I feel like that's where you grow. That's mm-hmm. where you make mistakes. You've got to make mistakes. You got to do things that you're like, ooh, where did that come from?
Yeah. There's a lot of cringe in looking back at some of my older stuff. I think that is, but you learn from it. You're like, yeah, wow, I would never do that again. So
Yeah, no, for real. Honestly, if you're not looking back at like your old stuff and sort of cringing or sort of being like, okay, I see where I was at that stage in my life. I'm not there anymore. I appreciate that it took this to get to where I'm at now, but I'm much glad. I'm glad that I'm older now.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I have a little more of a rear view mirror.
Yeah, that you've evolved past that point.
Yeah.
So at this point in your life, on this day, in this moment, what is your favorite song by an artist other than yourself?
Oh my God. Honestly, it's a Flock of Seagulls song. Was it Space Age Love?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Have you heard that song?
I have. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
It's simple. It's powerful. It has a message. And I don't know. I listened to it last night and like teared up, like watching the YouTube video of like how like the 80s had all this momentum, this power, this feel, and certain bands every once in a while like completely tapped into that, and they weren't mocking it, they were creating it.
Yeah.
Or they weren't jumping on the bandwagon of an 80s synth. And I think that song by Flock of Seagulls, even though it's like they get made fun of, it's such a good song. Ignore all the music video and all that, the glamour. Listen to the song like with no video, just earphones, just headphones. So good. And that's my go-to song that I've been jamming out to.
So what would you say that your biggest struggle as a musician has been to date?
My biggest struggle is the side of me that wants to start all over and learn the basics of a piano, the basics of a guitar, the basics of music theory. And to me, it's weird because it feels like I'm giving up if I do that. I feel like I know it's weird, but there's a side of me that wants to just stop playing and riffing and improvising and just go back to the very basics. But I feel like if I do that, I'll lose some of the humanity in how I play. The mistakes that I make, I feel like are a part of me, and that's what separates me. So there's like this weird thing of like, don't try to play the piano, just go back to the very basics and take lessons and try to be robotic and learn how to play the piano like a good piano player should. Like same thing with guitar and everything. But I feel like that is gonna, in a way, stop my progress or make me less of an individual. It's a weird thing. Like I know this, it's odd, but I almost don't want to be good at my instruments. Like there's that weird thing, like I don't want to be super good at the guitar because in a way those people sort of sound similar. I know there's so many other contradictions that you can pick apart what I'm saying, but I don't know. It's weird because I almost don't want to be good so that I can be more raw in a way. It's weird. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I think you see that in all art. People will all decide that this is the proper way that it is done, and this chord should follow this chord, and if it doesn't, then the song is worthless. But in doing that, you create this kind of music that it's very predictable, and in a way that's good because that people gravitate towards what they know. But then when you have people just continuously making the same stream of stuff, then you don't have any innovation, you don't have anything new, and you lose the meaning of music, which is to express something.
Yeah.
I guess that would lead me into doubt, self-doubt. Have you ever had any moments where you as an artist, you just question yourself, you doubted the decision that you had to write music or to carry on as a musician?
The easy answer as a whole is no. I've never had doubt of being a musician because I love music, and I think that no matter what, I'm going to play music. I'm never going to give it up. I'm never going to not like music. I'm never going to want to contribute to the music scene in a way. But on the other side of that, every time I make a song, there's doubt. There's always doubt. Doubt fills my mind when I'm making songs. When it comes to like this specific part or this specific riff or this, but as it relates to me as a musician, I don't think I'll ever go away from music. I don't think I'll ever go away from liking music. It's just too, I know it's weird, but it's too godly. Like, it's too much of like, this is how the universe works.
Yeah.
And this is an example of like pure universe. This is an example of the cosmos in a way that we can express. We don't understand. We might not understand exactly why music affects us in certain ways, but we can for sure feel it.
Yeah.
And to me, that there's no doubt in my mind that that's going to be with me until I die.
If you could try to capture that idea, maybe what components, in your opinion, do you think make an artist great and stand out from the crowd?
It brings me back to life. Is this band living?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a breathing band? Is this a karaoke machine? There's live bands that are karaoke machines.
Yeah.
That they're pumping out songs that are dead inside because of how they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I've listened to songs where it'll be 5 seconds in and I'll be like, I don't like this. There's just something right now that I'm not liking.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm not giving them enough like time and energy, but it doesn't take much for me to switch to the next song.
Yeah.
But like the other way around, it doesn't take much for me to repeat a song 100 times, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out is, hearing a band that it just is like, I can't imagine these people doing anything else than this song right now in this moment.
Regarding like popular music or trends in music at the moment, what would you say that you'd like to see changed or conversely expounded upon?
Oh, that's weird because it's easy to make fun of like jingles and commercial type sounds, but I also think there's a place for that. I think that there's a place for simplicity, catchy songs. I don't like the idea of like, you know, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, but I also think that there's a lot of good that those groups brought to the world.
Yeah.
Even though they might have been technically a manufactured machine built by lawyers or built by business people, the music still sooner or later takes over, and it still needs to be people singing. That, to me, that's real. But yeah, I did not like the Backstreet Boys growing up. I thought the Spice Girls were like, okay, I get it, but I'm glad music sort of shifted away from that. I just don't like it when it seems like somebody's completely mocking, or not mocking, but ripping off another artist.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should be influenced. Absolutely, you should be influenced by people you like and admire. But I also think any music is good music. Music is better than no music. A bad drawing, in however you want to classify good or bad, is better than no drawing. Play. You're going to be in a stage in your life where I might not like your music, but maybe in 10 years, you might be my favorite band.
I don't know how many times I've gotten an album or something just because I liked one song on it and just said, ugh, I don't really like any song but that. And then after a couple listens, I'm like, actually, I'm finding... Actually, I do like this album. I thought I didn't, but... yeah. And sometimes things like that will grow on you. And
yeah. Because you grow as a person, your tastes grow, I think your ears grow too. Like there's certain things frequencies that maybe you catch as an adult that maybe these musicians had in mind, more of like, this is kind of for adults in a way.
Yeah.
But there's songs where, man, it takes me back to high school. It takes me back to a moment. It takes me back to a feeling. And I don't get that from anything else besides Audible. I guess a smell can really bring you back.
Yeah.
But man, you hear a certain song and it could, it brings you to tears. I remember being 12 listening to this, or I remember like after school, my friends in their car, we were driving home singing this song. Music is I know it's kind of, it's deeper than, I don't know if I should be opening up to, but like at funerals, I've been at funerals and been sad, but it's not until a band starts playing or they play the bagpipes over the speakers that's when I break down. That's when it hits. That like, oh, this is death. Like, oh, this is a moment in life. And I think music is like a lubrication for feeling, for having a thought that you didn't plan, but here it comes. It's a fog rolling in. You're crying. Today's the day you cry, Alex. It makes it, I don't know. It makes you feel alive. That's kind of the simplest way to put it. You feel alive and you feel glad that you're alive, so that you're hearing this song, that you're hearing this melody.
Yeah. So, where can people go to listen to your music right now? In mostly online venues, or is there any websites that you would like to promote?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no live performances of Popcrow in the near future. Hopefully, someday that will be a thing that happens and hopefully repeats.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I am on SoundCloud, the main hub of all my singles, my songs, and that's SoundCloud.com, I think, /Popcrow. And I have a website, alexcampbellstein.com, that showcases kind of all of my artistic stuff. But the main way to find me is on SoundCloud. It's a cool community. I love liking other people's songs, and you hear a lot of stuff on that site that you would never ever hear on a radio or in like popular music spaces, because it's people like you and me making music for ourselves. And it's cool. It's a really fun community that I've been involved in with the SoundCloud.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's there's a whole bunch of like audio dramas, podcasts,